Good morning, happy Monday, the 3rd of February, 2020. It's my daily accountability live broadcast to both my personal business page as well as the Mel Robbins 5-second rule. Yeah, did you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 today? Yeah, every moment has an opportunity for that. In case you haven't noticed, but every day it's important that you get up and you take control of your day by waking up intentionally, happy, expressing gratitude, mostly grateful that you woke up, and grateful that you have things to look forward to and things that you want to do for yourself and for other people, and to live your life the best you can. And I am one of those that is always striving to improve, always learning. We never stop doing that. And so you get up and make sure that you don't hit the snooze button and you don't get distracted by outside influences, including your phone, mostly your phone, the news, loved one, even your kids. The kids are just, that's just extreme blessing no matter what, no matter how obnoxious they are, right? But when with or without your kids, we tend to use everything that is in our life as a potential distraction, or in a lot of ways as a negativity, preventing us from moving forward or to doing what we want to do, or somehow controlling our day. And so that's part of the lesson. And because when your kids are gone and you're grown, and you might have a spouse, or you might have a partner, or you might be alone, and then you have to fight with your own demons. But for the most part, we're here for a purpose, and so you might as well make the best of it. And I always say this too: 95% of us never change because it's uncomfortable. We have this natural mechanism inside of us, inside of our brain, called the amygdala, that keeps us in place. It keeps us from changing. It keeps us from moving outside of our comfort zone. And that's almost an overstated remark or statement that people make now. Overheard walking in the gym, there was a homeless man, I believe, and I believe he was probably on drugs, or he may have been schizophrenic, unfortunately. And I heard him repeating that over and over again. And he said, "I would get a job, but it's outside of my comfort zone." And I felt really bad for him. It was just an observation. Just sometimes we hear things and we say them over and over again, but we just say them. We don't really mean them. And that's why I say, when you first get up, make sure and list out the things that you're grateful for and really mean them. And just be cognizant of the right now, the present moment. And list out all the things that you want to do, that you strive to do. Hopefully you thought of those the night before, but you list them out and you block out your day so that you know exactly, you live in your day intentionally. So that's what I come on here and say every day, and it's mostly to be accountable to myself, because if I can do it, you can do it, and if this encourages or influences anybody else, then I've done something good. So I appreciate that. And always be looking for something you can do for somebody else, because it comes back to you. So yeah, today's theme, I always think of what the theme is. It's about being in the present moment. Sometimes when I struggle, I'm looking for things that are right in front of me, perhaps things that I preach every day but maybe don't practice. I believe in the law of attraction, and I listen to Abraham-Hicks, and I used to do that a lot, and I used to meditate. So doing all these things, but I'm not meditating, and meditating just means you slow down your mind. Spend 20 minutes a day, preferably in the morning or right before you go to bed, just shutting down all those thoughts. Because for some of us, they call it ADHD, but when I was little, there wasn't a term like that. Now it's like overused. It just means that you get distracted easily. You get bored with one thing, and so you're not really bored. It just, sometimes your brain, like it's doing right now, it just goes all over the place without finishing a thought, and drives other people absolutely batty, including myself. So if you can relate to that, that's what I'm talking about. And so I started listening to my instead of music at the gym, I'm usually listening to something that's really motivating or uplifting, or some sort of a mindset sort of thing. And so what I listened to this morning, it landed on Eckhart Tolle, who is the author of The Power of Now. And if you haven't read that, you should. He's got a lot of Audible, but it was actually a YouTube video where he was interviewing a young man, and it was really quite profound, because yes, I'd already read that, but again, it's not something that I practice enough of, and that is just being in the right now. And I remember being a little kid and looking at ants and remember it and thinking, wow, this is right now. Looking at ants on the ground and the cracks that they were crawling into, and I remembered that time just really wasn't a factor. And I look at my grandchildren and I watch what they do, and it's just, it brings me back there. And I know that we all have that, but one of the things that Eckhart Tolle was telling the young man that he was mentoring was, what is the one thing that stays with you your entire life? Because by the time you're 50 or 60 years old, all of the cells in your body have been completely replaced. You've experienced everything in life. You've been through, you've raised children, you've had jobs, you've had love, you've had hate, you've had death. You've experienced a great deal of things, and your physical body is actually completely replaced. Everything's been replaced. Every cell, that is. But there's this one thing that never ever changes. And I think all of us can relate to that, whether you're spiritual or not. You always remember something from as far back as you can go. That was the I of you, the part of you that was more of the observer, the one that is essentially, most people would call it your soul, but it's just the one thing that never changes. It doesn't judge. It's always in the now, in the present. So for those of us who are very reactive and struggle with that, and not just struggle with that, but I struggle with how it affects other people. Because when you react, it affects other people. It's a ripple effect. And you can't expect everybody else to just completely accept you when you have outrages, or when you're just overly flamboyant with your mood and your attitude and your talking and your chatty. And other people aren't necessarily interested in that. They're mostly interested in themselves, and that's not a bad thing. It's just it is. It just is. But so it's helpful to kind of just slow the hell down and just be right here in the now. And what's interesting is my spouse and I, sometimes we'll be competing for the thoughts that we're thinking. We both get excited and cut each other off, and you're waiting for the other person to so that you can talk. So you're waiting for them to finish. Sound familiar? I think it's common in every single relationship, and a lot of us end up alone because we really can't get along with other people, or they can't get along with us, or vice versa. But the question should come to you: is that okay? Am I better off alone, or can I actually learn how to manage myself and just stop, be right here in the present? And that's where I'm committing today. I'm going to be meditating every day again. Spending the 20 minutes. Just set the timer. Think about whatever. You hear the wind chimes. I love that. And just think you have to focus on something very droning, something that's completely without thought, because you want to slow everything down, and that will make everything else come and make sense when it matters. It's a practiced muscle, and it helps you to maintain. One of the things that I've found an adult color book, and we have all these pencils, and my ex-wife was staying with us for a while. If you're there, hi Kelly. We're using your adult coloring. It's really awesome. It just anything at all that you can do, any activity that you can do that really centers you, and you can concentrate, that has no meaning at all. You need that break. I do. If you're one of those people whose brain spins all the time, it's one of those people who has been described as obnoxious or exasperating, or just, hard to follow, or intense or uptight. Even my own mom, who suffers from Alzheimer's, but my brother and I were having a conversation in front of her, and she basically told us, "Stop it! You're not letting him talk." It's like, oops. So it's just a very easily observed thing to get so caught up in the flow of your own, you know, your own conversation that you don't allow yourself to be in the present moment. And really, that is the only thing we have, is right now. No matter what, it's right now. It's never before. You can't get mad at somebody about something before, and you can't trip on something in the future. It's always right now. I know that sounds really simple. That's just my theme for today. So if there's anything that I've said that resonates with you, I really appreciate that, and thank you so much for watching. And it's okay if nobody has, but for me, it means a lot that I can be on here. It's just a privilege, and I feel very grateful to be talking on here. So, all right, you make it a great day, and happy Monday, and do something special for other people or somebody else, and especially yourself. All right, take care.